today's video, we're going to be playing a hole. We're going to be playing a really long par 5. I'm going to be talking you through my strategy and how I'm going to play it. What I want you to be able to do is try and relate this back to your own game or to your own golf course. This one I'm walking onto is a 580 yard par 5. It's one of those for me that's touch and go whether I can reach it in 2 or not. And I'm sure you've got a golf hole like that on your golf course, whether it be a par 4 or par 5. And I want you to be able to relate to the decision making and the process that we need to go through to get to the right decision, which invariably will help you lower your score. So let's get to the tee and let's see what we can do. All right, so the exact yardage for this hole is 572 yards. It's like a little double dog leg. It's kind of veers a little bit from left to right, and then as you get close to the green, it veers a little bit more from right to left. So when you're laying up, you've got to be really clever, but also if you're wanting to go for this in 2, you are going to have to go over trees and you have to take a bit of a gamble on the second shot. So it's definitely a risk reward hole, but even when you're trying to play safe, you've got to be super clever. Also, when you're on a hole, bear in mind its stroke index. Do you have a shot? Do you have 2 shots? There's nothing wrong with using them. As a scratch golfer, if I walk off here with a 5, which is a par, net par, gross par, whichever way you want to look at it, nothing is lost and nothing is gained. So also take into consideration that if you shoot to your handicap on that hole, nothing's lost, nothing's gained. Sometimes you can look at it as a slight gain. In fact, it's a difficult hole. 570 yards requires 2 or 3 or 4 very good shots. If you can't hit this in regulation, you go for it in 4 or 5, you still need to hit those shots pretty well to get there, because the minute you duff one or stick one in the trees or hack around in the trees, you're losing shots, you're hemorrhaging shots. So selection and shot selection and club selection is key. Right, I've got a driver. If I can obviously bite off 300 yards of this, that'll be a huge help, and I'll almost kind of make my mind up for my second shot as well. Oh, that's long, guys. I've hit it so good. Little fade as well, little cheeky fade. There is a story behind the fade. Stay tuned to the channel because I'm going to be releasing a video on why I'm now fading the golf ball more than drawing it. And I think for golfers with any sort of restrictions or injuries, or maybe slightly older age, I fall into one of those 3 categories. A video will be coming very, very soon. So click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you do not miss out on future content like that. Right, let's check up on that tee shot. Now then, this is where it gets very, very tricky. I can't see the green. So right behind these trees is the green. It's approximately 280 yards to the green. So with a 3-wood, I feel like I could get very, very close. Maybe get a firm bounce and it could roll up there. What I'm going to do now, using a rangefinder, is actually just zap the fairway that I can see just to the edge of the tree. So I'm getting that at 100 and I can get up to like 165. So knowing it's 280, I know that'll leave me around about 120 in. So I can see more of the fairway, but I'm going to struggle to zap it. So I could hit anything really from an 8-iron up to a 6-iron into the fairway area. Now we need to be careful that if I hit a push or a slice or the wind gets it and I end up in the trees, I've got a very difficult shot. So I don't really want to end up with a 5-iron or a 6-iron in my hand in case I leak one off to the right hand side. Equally, I don't want to hit an 8-iron because it leaves me too far for my 3rd shot. The other alternative is going for the green. Now, first things first, when you're even thinking about a long iron or a wood, assess the lie. I've got to be honest, that's not amazing. The ball is ever so slightly below my feet and it's not a great lie, which makes me worry that I'm not going to be able to get the elevation to get over those trees. Now what I'm going to do for the purpose of this video, I'm going to hit both shots, okay? I'm going to hit a 6-iron to lay up, and I'm going to try off that particular lie the 3-wood, because I'm happy to lose that golf ball for this video. That's the dedication that we put into this, you know. I am hemorrhaging golf balls off these YouTube videos. Genuinely, I'm at the bare bones of my golf balls in my bag. I'm struggling. Right, I'm going to go with the 3-wood. Ball's below my feet. It's not an amazing lie. It's my brand new TSR. I do love it. I'm already not telling you this is not going to get over the trees. So I've got to go straight over those trees, ball below my feet, not an amazing lie. Told you I wouldn't get the height. I hear two big clunks of tree and I was hoping I'd see the ball down, but I didn't. So that golf ball, goodbye. Okay, that wasn't the shot. I called it. I told you it's not the shot. The lie wasn't great. The ball is below my feet. I'm going to drop this because this is how it could have ended. Oh, try and drop it on camera at least. You drop it, this is how it would have ended up on the fairway. Again, not a great lie to be fair, it's quite bare. 6 iron now, I feel so much more confident. It's going to go over the very corner of the tree, just the very, very edge of it. There's my little push actually as well, which is not amazing, but I shouldn't have enough club. Oh, I did have enough club. That was a poor layup. These things now, we're going to have to problem solve as we go. What we wanted to do doesn't always work. I wanted to go over the trees, didn't work, called it beforehand. The 6 iron is enough club that if I pushed it enough, I'm in the trees. I needed to be more aggressive down this left-hand side, but going over trees subconsciously is quite a scary thought. So I bailed out and now I've knocked it in the other trees. In hindsight, maybe I should have hit the 7 or the 8 iron, accepted the longer third shot, and get the ball in play. If you're new to the channel and you don't already subscribe, please do so. It does make a huge difference. Trying to grow the channel as big as possible, and the bigger I can grow it, the more information and content I can bring you. Also, if you don't know a bit about me, I do golf coaching on an app called Skillest. So I'm a full-time coach as well as obviously creating YouTube content. So if you do want a personalized golf lesson tailored to you and your golf swing and interact with me on the app, the link is in the description below. Right, let's go and see if I can use my pearls of wisdom to get out the trees. All right, not my best layup at all. I'm in the trees. I'm okay, I've got a view, okay? So obviously if you go in the trees, we rely on an element of luck. Now I need to get this ball on the green. Now, I've had a quick look at where the flag is and I've got loads of room left. As you can see, I've got quite a big mound to go over on the opposite, just on the opposite side of the trees. So I want to get the ball running. It needs to run up through the rough, but I want it to clear as much of this as possible. So I want it to run, so I could use a 6 iron, but I want it to get height, so I could use a 9 iron. What I've actually got, you could use a 7 or an 8 iron for this. You don't want the ball hitting those branches at the top. So what I'm going to do for setup here, I've got an 8 iron. I'm going to put it on the inside of my back foot. I'm going to put my hands on the inside of my lead foot, okay? So that way I'm able to keep the loft lower. I'm going to hit down on the golf ball, which will create a little bit of spin. And ideally, I'm going to land it at the base of that hill. So almost then, so its first bounce jumps over the hill, and then it can release up the green. There we go. So it landed at the base of the hill. It actually took its second bounce just into the hill, which took a little bit off it. It was a nice strike, so it had some backspin. I'm pretty sure it's on the green and we've got a putt, okay? So make sure you work through a bit of a process when it comes to these kind of specialized shots. It's all well and good me hitting golf shots from the fairway, but this is this is a little bit of my reality as well. Legends of the game like Tiger and Seve, they weren't born with amazing kind of skills of wizardry to get out of these ridiculous situations they got themselves into. They got really good at it through practice. They mustn't have been very good golfers. Ah, they were. Oh, I've not made the green. I'm still just on that fringe. So now we need to decide whether we chip or putt. Had the grass been a bit shorter, I'd definitely have putted this, but it's just a little bit too furry. So in terms of selection here, I've gone with the 54 degree. 58 degree, I have to hit it a little bit too hard. I feel like a 50 degree, I'm gonna have to land it too short, which I personally struggle with. Pitching wedge you could also use. Again, it comes down to preference. A little 9 iron chip and run's not a bad shot either here. But I personally just prefer this little 54 degree. With a 54, I feel like if you land it about halfway, it's usually about right. As you'll probably have seen, that landed about 2/3 of the way, which is definitely not right. Right, probably an area of the game that gets overlooked in terms of putting, in terms of YouTube videos, is definitely putting. We need to do more with it. We need to do much more putting videos and tips and stuff like that, because we use this club the most in the bag. It's the most important club in there. I personally have got a lot better with putting over the past year or so, just from practice and kind of improving my technique and improving my understanding of putting in general, which is just hugely important. Right, I've got a little break here. I've got the high side there. It's a left to right putt going slightly up the hill. So I feel like when it's slightly uphill, I can be a little bit more aggressive. I've got a really good grip now where I put both hands kind of right over the top of the putter. So it makes them, they're equal, they're opposite to each other, but they're doing the equal amounts, which then helps me stabilize the face. I keep the ball position in the center, eyes directly over the golf ball. Nice little pendulum action, nice and firm. And we've managed to save a par, because that was an amazing tee shot, a very poor layup, a decent recovery, a poor chip, and a good putt. So really, out of the 5 shots, I've hit 2 that I'm really happy with. And then the rest, we just had to kind of figure things out as we go along, and that's what we're gonna have to do for 18 holes. That's why golf is so difficult, because to add that concentration in for 4.5 to 5 hours is bloody hard work, isn't it? Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tip. Please do hit that subscribe button, trying to grow the channel as big as possible over the next kind of few months. It's now my full-time job after all. So guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.